Today we'll talk about why borderlines and narcissists suddenly discard you. A sudden discard is perhaps one of the most difficult things to recover from and understand and make sense of. If you're on the receiving end of that, everything seems so great in your relationship, Your borderline partner loves you and you're planning your future together, and suddenly out of the blue they break up with you, often by text, and then you're just discarded, gone. They stop communicating, they might block you and simply just go no contact. They will just seem really cold and numb, like they feel nothing, even though last week they said you were the love of their life. In many cases, they've lined up a replacement for you straight away, and you're just in this shock and pain of thinking, what happened? And we just talked about moving in together last week. What is going on? And borderlines go through the stages of idolization where they mirror you, where they seem to be interested in everything that you're interested in. They seem to like you and seem to be the perfect match. They love bomb you with affection and make you feel really special. You're the love of their life. They want to spend their life with you. And it gets really intense really quickly. But eventually, normally after that honeymoon stage, they realize the fantasy that they created in their mind, and that you being perfect is not really true. But something they perceived you to do, they might worry that they will be abandoned, or you simply got too close to them. And that's when stage 2 starts, devaluation. Here splitting becomes apparent as they now go from idolizing you to the opposite, and often start putting you down or gaslighting you. Eventually they go to the last stage, which is just discarding you. It's a matter of when, unless you leave beforehand. The big question we all have is, but why did they do this? As you might know from my other videos, they struggle with emotional regulation and feel emotions very intense. They also struggle with constancy, meaning they only perceive what they feel in this moment to be real. So your previous history and past and how they felt about you last week doesn't really matter to them. It's not present in their mind. They can't access it in the same way you can, where you see the grays, not black or white, because they just split and only see black and white, good or bad when triggered. It also means they can only see themselves as either good or bad. So accepting responsibility would make them feel all bad, and no one wants to feel all bad, so they blame it on you, and they then need to push you away, feeling that they've been the victim. Their lack of emotional regulation and the intensity of their emotion mean that when that fear of abandonment or perceived fear, because you might not be abandoning them, is triggered, they just can't cope with the pain. So they need to get your way, and for them that's out of sight, out of mind, making it easier for them to not take any responsibility and feel less pain by just discarding you and blocking you. Their cognitive empathy is also impaired, so they can seem very cold and not care at all about the pain that they are causing you. Because they also struggle with self-identity and self-regulation, they very often, as I said, will line a replacement up for you because they need somebody to not feel that emptiness and pain. And the same pattern will repeat itself with a new person, so trust me, they will go through all the same pain you went through. You often think they'll move on and they'll all be good and you'll be missing out on all that love-bombing beauty. The person you missed or miss was not real. It was a temporary fantasy they created for you using mirroring and love-bombing. You are the source of your happiness, and it was your brain chemicals that made you happy. So now you need to uncover those needs that your borderline fulfilled and find other ways to get those needs met. I will talk about self-love in another video, so go check that out. It's a really important topic. And you'll likely be stuck for a while in an addictive response, making you want to go back to your ex borderline, because this push-pull they do at the end create that response of addiction in your brain, essentially. And to break this, I would recommend you go no contact and also block them everywhere, and I mean everywhere, because it's common they hoover and come back to suck you in with all that love bombing, and it's so easy when you're in pain to be sucked into that, get your fix, feel better before you go through the whole cycle again. In neuroscience, there's a saying, what fires wires, so the more you go back and keep contact, the more these neurons will fire, and the stronger they get, so the harder it gets to break free. And no, it will never go back to the idolization stage again. Also remember, she's not your happiness, or he's not if it's a he that has borderline. They were just that trigger for you to feel in a particular way. Your brain made you feel that way. Your happiness is still with you. After the no contact, it's important to fill your day with people and activities you really enjoy, even if you don't feel like it. Spend time with people that support you. Get a therapist and learn about what makes you, receptible to someone with borderline personality disorder or narcissism. If you're stuck in depression or obsession, then go speak to your doctor. It might be good to get some medicine that can help you get out of that, within your window of tolerance, and get out of that obsession so you can start recovering. We are social creatures and we heal better socially. It's a scientific fact, and like I said, go watch my video on self-love too. You will be better if you follow the steps. The pain feel like it will last forever, but trust me, it will not. Read all the recovery stories online and you'll see after a few months people start getting better. It took me a month and a half to really get out of the fog and feel happy again, simply by using the framework I teach. You can learn more about the How to Recover from Toxic Relationship program on zencenter.com. But if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, comment, or share it with other people, and go check out that free webinar on zencenter.com. It's 1 hour of great free tips on how to have a flourishing, healthy, and nurturing, loving relationship which you deserve. So go check it out. See you in the next video.